Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Basics of Python video series by Urdu IT Academy. Today we are going to learn about function with return statement. Before that, let's see previous class assignment question. Right? So the first question is to create a program to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle, and you have to use two functions, area and perimeter. So here you can see I have a function area with two parameters L and W. So inside the function, we are finding the area equal to length into width, and we are printing it. Same for the perimeter function. Here also we have two parameters L and W, and we are finding the perimeter and printing it. Now, below those functions in the normal coding, first we are asking the user to enter the length, width. After that, we are calling the function area and perimeter. So whenever you are calling the area function, it will directly go up here. L will be the length you have specified. I think here it's suppose it's 6. And width will be the width, 5. So L and W will be 6 and 5. So area will be 6 into 5 and it is printing the area, 30. Same for the perimeter. Okay. Now the next question is to find the biggest among two numbers. So here, first thing, I have a function, biggest, and below the function. Okay, below the function, you can see I'm asking the user to enter two numbers, N1 and N2. Imagine I have written two numbers, 44 and 5. So whenever I'm calling the function biggest N1, N2, first number, so first parameter X will be N1, which is 44, and Y will be N2, which is 5 here. Okay, so we are checking if 44 greater than 5. That's true, right? So we'll print biggest number is X, which is 44. Okay, same way all the conditions will work. All right, now let's start today's topic, return statement. So the return statement is used inside a function definition to exit the function and return the value to the specific place from where the function was called. All right. So here in the previous, in example assignment question, you can see we are printing the biggest number inside the function definition itself, right? Suppose there might be a situation when we don't have to print it inside a function and we have to return a value to the place from where it was called. Mostly whenever we are doing some calculations and all, okay, we want to continue the calculation, we might need it, okay? So for that purpose, we are using the return. So here syntax is return space the expression list. Expression list can be anything like return x, return num1, return num2, or return 5 greater than 7, or return num1 equal to num2. You can write anything. Maybe I'll show an example here. Maybe let's create a function to find the biggest among three numbers. First, maybe before the function, imagine I have three numbers, n1 equal to 5. So two numbers, n2 equal to maybe, or maybe we can just, we can just ask the user to enter the numbers int input entry number. So I'm asking the user to enter a number. Same for the n2, int input, enter the num2. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm creating a function on the top. Def maybe biggest. Okay, and two parameters, maybe x comma y, n1 comma n2, anything. Okay. So now here we need to find which is the biggest number, right? So I'm adding if x greater than y. Okay. And we have to return it. So I'm returning maybe x. Okay. Otherwise, else I'm going to return y. Okay. Now here, below the function, you can see I'm asking the user to enter two numbers. Maybe I'm checking if x equal to y. Sorry, not x. Here it is n1, n2. So n1 equal to n2. In that case, we can directly print they are same, right? Otherwise, what I am going to do is that otherwise I have to call this function biggest to find which is the biggest number. Okay, just a sample example. Okay, so for that we can call the function like this: biggest n1 comma n2. Okay, so whenever I'm doing this, you can see the output here. I'm typing a number 4 and 5. You can see nothing is printed, right? But actually here the computer, we are asking 5 for, computer is asking us to enter the number 5 and 4. It is checking if 5 equal to 4. That's wrong. So it is calling the function. It is going here. X is 4, Y is 5. It is checking and it is returning the value. But the problem is that we are not using it, right? So two options are there. Either I can create a variable like big equal to biggest. Okay, so here you can see what happens is that the computer is calling the function here, right? So whenever the computer is calling the function here, x will be n1, y will be n2. Okay, imagine the numbers are maybe 4 and 5. X is 4, y is 5. Imagine, okay? So 4 greater than y, that's wrong. Now, since 4 is not greater than y, it is going else and it is returning y, which is 5. So that 5 will be returned here, the place from where it was called. Okay. So since it is written here, that 5 will be stored inside the variable big. Okay. Clear? Now below that, here I can print biggest number is big. You can see. Maybe I'm typing the number 4 and 5. You can see biggest number is 5. Same way, if I'm typing 2 and 2, it will say they are same. And if I'm typing 44 and 2, it will say biggest number is 44. This is one method, okay? Otherwise, what we can do is that we can call it directly inside a print function, which means I'm just printing biggest number is. After the quotes, I'm putting a comma. Now I'm going to call the function inside here in the print. So I'm typing the function name biggest. Inside the bracket, I'm passing the parameters n1 and 2. It will have the same effect. You can see numbers 22 and 44. You can see biggest number is 44. Clear? Okay. I hope it's clear. Now what I'm going to do is that okay. Now what we can do is that let's create another project. Maybe I'm going to create a project to say simple like a calculator maybe to add two numbers maybe. So here you can see I have a function maybe add. Inside the parameter function I have two parameters maybe a comma b. Okay. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the number sum is equal to a plus b. In the next line, sorry, I'm going to print a plus, sorry, actually we don't have to print it, right? It's forgot. We can directly return it. We are just practicing the return. So we can return the sum. Clear? Same way we can create another function sub. Maybe m comma n. We can give any parameter names, okay? So here maybe s is equal to n minus n. Sorry, n sec. Okay, n minus n, and I'm returning s, the subtracted answer. Okay, so now below that, here below the function, I'm asking the user to enter two numbers n1 and n2. You can give any variable names, okay? And I'm calling the function. And before calling the function, remember, we have to call it inside a print function or we have to store it in a variable, right? Like answer is equal to add of n1 comma n2 like that, so that you can use it later. So here I'm just adding it like that, a plus b equal to, oh, sorry, here actually the variables are n1 and 2 because a and b are the names we are using inside the function. So we can use it inside the function only, not outside. Okay, equal to, now we have to call the function. So add n1 comma n2. Okay, same way we can call the subtract function also. n1 minus n2 equal to subtract function name is sub. Let's see how it is working. Enter a number, maybe 5. Another number 3. You can see 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. 5 minus 3 equal to 2. Clear? I hope it's clear. Now, let's continue with our slides. Let's have a look on some similar question. Now this is a question to find the area of a circle. Okay. So here, as you know, the equation to find the area of a circle is pi r square. Right? We'll write it as pi. Sorry, let's not look like a pi. Okay, maybe. So pi r square. This is the equation, right? To find the area of a circle. So the pi r square, same as value of pi is 3.14, which we already know. We have learned in school. So it is same as writing 3.14 into radius, right? So if you want to solve this is the equation to find the area of a circle, okay? So if you want to find the area of any circle, you only have to know what is the radius of that circle, right? So here I am asking the user to enter the radius, and after that I have created a variable result. Result is equal to area of radius. Now you can see this is my function call, right? So whatever value the function is going to return, it will be stored inside the variable result. Okay? So we are going up here. So imagine the radius is 5. Okay. So now a will be 5. So answer is 3.14 into a into a, which is 3.14 into 5 into 5. And we are returning the answer. We are returning the answer means the answer will be returned here. Okay. The place it was called, and it will be directly stored into the variable result. Okay. After that, we are printing area is result. Okay. Now the next question is to find the square of a number. Same thing here. What I'm going to do is I'm directly writing square equal to find square of 3. Find square is a function, and I'm directly passing the value 3. So it will go here. Now the num will be 3. Result is 3 into 3, which is 9. So we are returning the value 9. 9 will be returned here, which will be stored inside the variable square. So after that, we are printing square 9. Okay. Now the next question is to find the factorial of a number using recursion. Now recursion is a very important topic, an important concept. We are using recursion means whenever we are calling a function inside the function definition, which means here. You can see I have a function factorial. Before that, I'm asking the user to enter a number. Imagine I am writing the number 5 here. So num will be 5. So we have to first check if num is a positive number. So we are checking if num is less than 0. In that case, I can print like factorial does not exist for negative numbers. Okay. Otherwise, which means if the number is not negative, then in the else block, I am printing the factorial of, see, this much it is printed, of, now num is 5, is this much we have printed. Okay. Sorry. Now we are calling the function factorial of num, which means the computer will go here, and now the value of num is, 5, right? Now before that, do you know what is a factorial? Factorial means, if factorial of 5 means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is a factorial of 5. And if you want to find the factorial of 10, which means 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into, like that, into 1. Okay, that is a factorial. Okay. So now, so now we are here, passing the value 5 here. Now first we have to check if n equal to 0 or n equal to 1. Okay, that is wrong, right? Because n is 5. So we are going the else block, and I am returning n into means I am returning 5 into, okay, factorial of n minus 1. Here you can see I am calling the function one more time. Okay, So whenever we are calling the function inside the same function definition, this is a factorial function definition. Inside the same function definition, I am calling the function. So such function we call it as recursive function. Okay. Yeah. So here I am returning n. N means 5 into, we can see factorial of n minus 1. So maybe I'm changing my color. So factorial of n minus 1 means 5 minus 1. Now it is 4. Right. So it is going up here. Now the n is 4. Right. We are checking if 4 equal to 0 or 1. That's wrong. So going in the else block, I'm returning n into. N into means 3 into. Okay. 3, sorry, actually it's not 3. N is 4, right? So I'm returning 4 into. Okay. So 4 into, again, factorial of n minus 1. 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Right? So again, it's a recursive function call. We are going up here. Now the value of n is 3. So we are checking if 3 equal to 0 or 3 equal to 1 wrong. So in the else block, I'm returning 3 into. Okay. 3 into factorial of 3 minus 1, which means 3 into factorial of 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. Again, we are going up here. Now the value of n is 2. 2 equal to 0 or 2 equal to 1 is wrong. So we are going in the else. We are returning 2 into. Okay. 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1. Now this time 2 minus 1 means 1, right? Okay. So here this time we are, 2 minus 1 becomes 1. So going up here, now the value of n is 1. So we are checking n is 0 or n equal to 1. That's true. N is equal to 1, right? So that time we are stopping the, continuous calling. We are directly returning 1. Okay. Returning 1 means that value 1 will be returned here. Okay. The place it was called, which means 2 into 1. Which means actually it is returned here. Okay. Okay. Which is now 2 into 1. Okay. Now that answer 2 into 1 will be returned. Okay. So now, yeah. Now that answer will be a return. 2 into 1 will be, this complete answer 2 into 1 will be returned here. Now it is 3 into 2. Right? Now in the next execution, that complete answer will be returned below. Like 3 into 2 is 6. That 6 is returned here. Now it becomes 4 into 6. Okay. Now in the next execution, that 4 into 6. Okay. 4 into 6 is 1, 6, 12, 18, 24, right? So 24 is returned here. Okay. Now the final answer, 5 into 24, which will be returned here, the first function call. That's why it is printing 120. Clear? So whenever we are calling a function inside the same function definition, we call it as recursive function. Okay. Now let's see one more example. It's a program to print the Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series means it's a series where the first two numbers are always 0 and 1. Okay. Now the next we'll get the next number by adding the two previous numbers. Like next number will be 0 plus 1, 1. Again, the next number will be 1 plus 1, 2. Then it will be 1 plus 2, 3. Then it will be adding 2 plus 3, 5. Then 5 plus 3, 8. Like that. Such series we call it as Fibonacci series. Okay. So first you can see I'm asking the user to enter the num terms. Num terms means how many lines or how many numbers we need. So here you can see the user has written 7, which means 7 numbers we need. Okay. Now I'm printing Fibonacci series. You can see here. After that, I'm adding a for loop for I in range num terms, which means num terms is now 7, right? I'm printing Fibonacci of I. I means, as you know, I will be always starting from 0, the for loop variable I. So it is now Fibonacci of 0. Okay. So going up, n will be now 0. So we are checking if n less than equal to 0. That's true. So that's why we are returning 0, which means here the 0 will be returned, which will be directly printed. The first 0 is printed. Clear? Now automatically I will be increased to 1. So here it will be print Fibonacci of 1. We are going up here again. So L 1 less than equal to 0 is wrong. So L if 1 equal to n equal to 1 is true. So we are returning 1 means that 1 will be returned here, which will be directly printed here. Okay. Now in the next execution, I will be automatically changed it to 2. Okay. So going up here, the first two conditions if and if are wrong. So in the else block, I am returning Fibonacci of 2 minus 1. Fibonacci of 2 minus 1 is 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Okay. Now you can see here, this is a function call and this is also another function call. So what happens is that computer will again internally call the function, which means same as here with Fibonacci of 1 will be there. So computer will check if L if n equal to 1 is true. So the answer will be true returned. Plus, there is a plus right here. Actually, yeah, there is a plus. Now after that, Fibonacci of n minus 2. I mean 2 minus 2 is 0. That function will be executed whenever it is 0 here. N less than equal to 0 is true. So it is returning 0, 0 itself. So 1 plus 0, the answer 1 will be returned here. Okay, which is printed. That's how we are getting the second one. Clear? I hope it's clear. Now in the next execution, I will be 3. So whenever I will be 3, what happens is that we are going here. Now the value of n is 3. So here, first if and if is wrong. So in the else block, we are returning Fibonacci of 3 minus 1, which is 2, plus Fibonacci of 3 minus 2, which is 1. So we again the same thing will happen. Fibonacci of 2, the computer will find, plus Fibonacci of 1. We already know that it is 1 and 1, right? So it will print the 2. Same like that, it will execute. Total 7 times. Okay. I hope it's clear. So just remember, using the return statement, we can exit from a function and we can return some value to the place it was called. Okay. And recursive function means whenever we are, calling a function inside the function definition, we call it as recursive function. And it's a very important topic because we have to use it very carefully. Otherwise, it can, lead into infinite loops. Okay. And it will take a lot of memory spaces. So we usually avoid it. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you two assignment questions also so that you can practice. So the first question is to create a program to find the square root of a number using function with return statement, which means you have to ask the user to enter a number and you need to create a function to find the square root of a number. Okay, and you have to return it to the place it was called. Okay. Now the second question is to create a program to build a calculator using function with return statement. Okay, which means a calculator means there will be 4 functions: add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So in all the function, there will be 2 parameters for the first 2 numbers. You have to do the calculation, addition, subtraction, whatever it is, and you have to return the value. Okay, you can try. See you in the next video. Till then, happy learning. Assalamu alaikum.